Ludmila, could you just tell us what you've found about the number of rent disputes in Dubai at the moment?
Definitely. In the last, I would say maybe 6 months, but definitely definitely 6 months, but more like a year or 9 months, the number of rent disputes has gone up significantly. And I would compare that to, for example, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, there were practically no disputes at the time. In fact, 2 to 3 years ago, the landlords were much more concerned about just renting their properties at whatever cost to whoever. So we saw very little disputes, if at all. And it's basically in the office, in our firm, we get at least 2 to 3 calls a day related to tenancy disputes. And they come from both landlords and tenants.
Compared with how many did you get before?
I would say a year ago, we probably had one every 3 to 4 months a year ago. In short, it relates to price or rent increase, eviction, maintenance costs, and then perhaps sublease. So I would say those are the categories of issues that we're seeing.
Okay, and when you get a landlord trying to increase the rent, I mean, what sort, I know they might not say that, but what sort of increases are they really looking for here?
It's quite interesting because it really varies greatly. We have seen increases in the order of 50% and more.
50,
yes, 50%. For example, right now we have a case where the rent is, quite significant already compared to other rents. 100 dirhams per square foot, for example, and now the landlord believes that the current market rate is more like 250 per square foot. And so that's kind of ultimately the rent that they are wanting to receive now, but they understand that they cannot increase by that much. But just to give you an idea of the range in what the market price used to be and what it is today.
Okay, so if I'm a tenant in Dubai and my landlord is trying to put the rent up by higher than the rent calculator suggests, what can I do about it?
Well, before I answer that question, let me just clarify the issue of the rent calculator. So landlords, it's not true. There's a perception that landlords can increase by whatever percent as per the rent calculator, and that there is something about this 2-year magic number that I think is kind of legacy from the previous laws, or previously sort of drafts or drafted laws that existed. But this 2-year is not really of any consequence today. There was a law back in the old days that basically allowed landlords to raise prices after 2 years, but that's no longer effective, and therefore there is no 2-year magic number. So landlords can only increase rent if, number one, the tenant agrees, and number two, if it's the current rent is more than 25% below market.
But I hear there's going to be some changes to the rent committee coming up on the 1st of December. Could you just explain what those are going to be?
Yes, and the changes are quite interesting because there is a lot of excitement about this new forum or the new committee that is supposed to help resolve this increased number of disputes. Interestingly enough, as I said earlier, the current committee has been extremely effective and very efficient, and we have had a solid number of precedents that have been resolved quite efficiently, and we represent both landlords and tenants, and so the precedents are quite predictable, and as I said, we've had some cases resolved within less than 1 month, and the longest case we had was 5 months.
Okay, and my final question, how does the law differ in Abu Dhabi? What should I do if I'm in Abu Dhabi and I'm suffering a similar thing?
Abu Dhabi, we're not as intimately familiar with the Abu Dhabi rental laws, but generally speaking, every emirate has its own laws. So that's important to understand, because whatever we hear about Dubai does not apply in Abu Dhabi and vice versa, and every emirate has its own laws. In Abu Dhabi, it's done through the Abu Dhabi municipality, so they don't have a specialized body called the rent committee per se, but what they do have is a Dubai municipality that does handle these kind of disputes. Also, Abu Dhabi has much more detailed laws, if you will, the rental laws that outline both parties' rights and responsibilities.
Great, Ludmila, thank you very much.
Thank you.